Oh, hi there, and welcome to another episode of One of Swords TV. That's me. I'm One of Swords. Nice to meet you. I'm Dan Amrick. I'm the community manager for Activision, and what I try to do every week is answer one of your questions that you send into YouTube at oneofswords.com. And in so doing, hopefully I will demystify some aspect of video games in general, specifically Activision video games, or maybe even it's just what I do for a living, which seems to be this week's question. Coming from Rob Walker, and Rob says, "Hey Dan, I have a quick question. Moderating the Call of Duty community must be hard, and to respond to all those report requests must be time-consuming. Doesn't this take up valuable time that could be used for something else more useful?" Well, keep in mind a couple of things. One, I don't respond to report requests, and I do not work for the developer of any Call of Duty game, and I am more than just the Call of Duty community manager. I'm not specifically on the Call of Duty team. I am the community manager for all of Activision, so that means that I also talk about things like the Spider-Man games. I talk about Skylanders. There's basically, if it's published by Activision Publishing as opposed to Blizzard, which does its own thing under the Activision Blizzard umbrella, but if it's by Activision, then that's kind of what I'm paying attention to. But the report requests, I'm not sure what you mean by this. Are you suggesting the things of like when you go into a game in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 or something like that, and you can say, hey, report this person for an offensive emblem or language or something like that? There is a team, there's a dedicated team at the developer that handles those requests. You may have seen, actually, for Infinity Ward games, you can contact them on Twitter at IW Enforcers. So it's not, in those cases, this is not me, of course, but in the cases of the people, that is their job, you know, like they're there to make those communities work as smoothly as humanly possible. And then, of course, in addition to that, Infinity Ward has Tina Palacios, who is their senior community manager. And Candace is also on the community team alongside Tina. So you have people who have specific disciplines, but it's not a waste of their time. It's actually what they're hired to do. You know, there's the enforcement team, and then there's the community management team, and of course they work together, and there's some bridges to gap, or gaps to bridge, I suppose, the other way around. But does, you know, in terms of what I do and the valuable time that I'm taken, that is taken up, you know, my goal is also pretty much that goal. I'm here to interface with the community. I'm here to talk to people like you. I'm here to talk to people on Twitter. I spend maybe 85% of my day on Twitter answering people's questions in real time. I take a lot of pride in doing that. I also go over and I have a Facebook page for One of Swords, and I check that out, and I do giveaways when I can, and I do the podcast, you know, like, that is all valid use of my time. That is all exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, which is opening and keeping open a line of communication two-way with people that play Activision games, whether they're Call of Duty or not Call of Duty. You know, I guess, I hope that answers your question. I don't want you to think that I'm a developer, because I'm not, and I don't work on the studio side. But there are people who work on the studio side that is their main thing, is to make sure that the game runs well for the community, and that anybody that you report, you know, that they investigate those things. You know, that's certainly not a waste of their time if that's what they do for a living. And I don't consider even interacting with people that have complaints to be a waste of my time either. So hopefully that was kind of what you're asking. It's kind of an odd question, but honestly, it's one of the last questions that's in my inbox. Did you guys run out of questions? I don't believe you. I think that you're probably just shy and you haven't written anything to YouTube at oneofswords.com, so I'd recommend doing that. And maybe you'll see your question here next week, because I'm going to try to do this again next week, assuming there's questions. Meanwhile, go to oneofswords.com for all of the information that I have about video games in general, obviously, specifically Activision games, because I am Activision's community manager. But until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.